All right, guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and in today's video we're going to talk about blocking 4-3 even 6-1 and how we can make sure we're comfortable in the pocket. So that being said, let's dive right into it. And for those of you that have played Madden a lot this year, understand that 4-3 even 6-1 is a super popular defense, and it's a very frustrating defense too because of how chaotic and inconsistent the pressure is, and that actually hurts us as an offensive player because we don't know, is it coming in this play, is it not? It gets people really focused on looking at the pressure, which is something you don't want to do when you're trying to throw the ball downfield. So first we're going to talk about how this pressure works, then we'll talk about a common mistake that people make, and then how we can ensure that we have comfortability in the pocket and how we can pick this up. Okay, so what we want to do here is first talk about what the blitz is. So we're just going to come out on a random play on offense, but on defense what people are going to do is they're typically going to have auto flip off and auto alignment set to base. Okay, now 4-3 even 6-1 cover 4 quarters is a play that you will see a lot in this formation. Now the setup for this pressure is really easy as well, which also makes it frustrating, as all they need to do is pinch their line down and crash them down. Now what you're going to see is if we look at the play art, you can see why this pressure actually does work. And what we want to focus on are those 4 defensive linemen's pass rush angles. If you see, they're all attacking to the interior of even our guards. So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to get a 4-on-3 up the middle, and they're taking the offensive tackles out of the play. Okay, again, based off those angles, the offensive tackles, and we're going to see this in a replay here in a minute, they're going to really be non-existent for the start of the play. Right, they have a really tough time getting any hands on somebody early on in the down. All right, so what you're going to see here is, again, we're just running some normal play on offense. If we say hike, you're going to see that this is a very chaotic pressure where sometimes somebody comes free up the middle, and you can see there 99 came up the middle free. Our tackle did try to get to him late, but the angle that he's blocking at is just never going to get it done here for our offense. So again, if we look at this play, like I said, early on in the down, you see how the tackles don't get hands on anybody. Right, the tackles are going to get depth, and they will turn and try to come get a block. But if we have an offensive tackle running to the middle of the field, like you see 66s here, to get a block, that means that the defense is winning, right? And again, all we're doing is they're doing a +1 here to the interior of our line, right? They have 4 rushers, we have 3 blockers because those tackles, like I said, are kind of non-existent. All right, so again, here you can see we get that free runner. He does pick him up late, but if you ever have a tackle, get a guy at this angle, he's never going to be able to hold that long. So like I said, a lot of people are always focused on this pressure, or they're just going to roll out immediately, and that's something we don't want to have to always do. Okay, so one thing that people are going to do is they're just going to block their running back. Okay, now I'll show you why it can work at times, but why it may not be the most effective for you. Sometimes it'll just help the line block better in general. You may see that. But the running back's kind of going to be non-existent in this play as well, because of the way he blocks if we just block him normally. Okay, so again, we just put the running back on a block here, and what you're going to see, we still just pinch down, crash down with that defensive line. If we say hike, you're going to see that he's not really going to do a great job on this play of helping out, and we'll run it a couple times, and I'll show you here in a replay as well. And the reason is where he targets initially. Okay, so if we say hike one more time here, you're going to see, again, our offensive line did a little bit better, but it's not really blocking the running back. He's not blocking anyone, we should say, right? He's not really doing a great job, and the reason for that is because he is first targeting the outside linebacker. Right, so if we block him here, you can see that his first attention is to that outside linebacker. Now sometimes, depending on how good your running back is, he will keep his attention out there longer, and it's going to make it even harder for him to get back to the middle. Now Derrick Henry's a highly rated running back, so he's actually going to divert his attention back to the interior a little bit sooner at times, but lesser running backs will not, and even at times people like Derrick Henry won't as well. And you can see that he, again, is initially out of position because he's looking to the outside, and that's not what we want him to do. We want him to look to the inside immediately. Now, there is a way to tell who your running back is blocking, and that's what we're going to take advantage of here. Okay, so if we set up this pressure again, if we put our running back on a check and release, okay, you're going to see that there's going to be a defensive player with a C above his head. Okay, so that's that right outside linebacker, or right of screen outside linebacker here. That's telling us who the check and release player is going to block. which obviously is the running back in this situation. If we block him, now the C will disappear, but he's still going to target that guy that had the C above his head, right? So we put that check and release back on. You can see that he's targeting that guy with the C. Again, even if we block him now and he's not on the check and release any longer, if we say hike, he's still going to initially go to the outside, okay? And there you can see that in a situation like that, that was a really good rep showing that he's not always going to be able to get it back to the inside. All right, so again, here he's looking to the outside, and you see how long he's looking out there? Again, at this time, you know that outside linebacker's not blitzing, but he still has his attention out there, and we knew he would. But now if someone gets looped in through the interior, he tries to fight through, but he's just out of position to make that block. Okay, so how can we make sure that we pick this up with the running back? Again, what we want to do is we want to get that C icon in the inside, right? When that C icon is to the outside, right, like we see here, he's not going to target the right guy. Okay, so what you'll see here is, let's say we ID the mic on the defensive end, right? C stays the same. ID the defensive tackle, C stays the same. And what you'll see is when you move this mic at times, and when you shift your line, and when you do different things, that C will change positions. Okay, so how can we get that to the inside? So what we want to do is we'll reset the play here. Again, we want to put the running back on a check and release. We want to shift our line away from the running back. Okay, we're going to double team the defensive tackle away from the running back. And then we're going to ID the defensive tackle on the running back side. Now what you'll see is that C is now on that defensive end. Okay, so now we can see that the running back is going to target that defensive end with the C above his head. All right, so if they go to run this now, what you're going to see is again, once you get the C where you want it, you can always block your running back just to make sure he blocks for the entire play and doesn't release out into the route. But again, we had that C where we wanted it. So now when we say hike, what you're going to see is he's initially going to go right up the middle and help out where he's most needed on this play, right? So if we look at this replay, you're going to see that he targets the appropriate area of the field that we want him to first, right? And again, it's all because of where we made that C appear on the field, right? So if we look at this running back here, you can see that when we say hike, he doesn't look to the outside linebacker anymore, right? He's looking immediately to the inside, and you can see that he's just going to step up here and do a good job of blocking any free rusher coming up the middle. And now that's going to give us the time and comfortability in the pocket that we need to make that throw down the field. Okay, so one more time, you can do this to either side as well, right? So let's say that the running back is on this side, right? So let's say he's on the left side of the formation. Again, like I say, he doesn't have to be on the right side. You can do this out of any formation in the game in shotgun. And what we want to do is we want to put him on the check and release. We're going to shift away from the running back. We're going to double team the D tackle away from the running back. And then we're going to ID the D tackle on the running back side. Now what you see is that puts that C icon on the defensive end on his side. Once we get it there, we can now block him. And now if we say hike, you can see that he's going to immediately step to the inside. And that's going to give us time to stay in the pocket and make those reads further down the field for some nice yardage. And if you're interested in getting better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.